Now we're gonna go on to the sauteed mushrooms. And when I was growing up, I hated mushrooms. And I know a lot of people don't like them now, but I promise you, they're absolutely sensational and they're a tremendous accompaniment to the filet. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do about a 1/4 cup of safflower oil. And again, you can use canola oil or a vegetable oil. Just again, don't wanna use olive oil because it has a low smoke point and then you just don't wanna burn it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix that with 1 stick of butter. And I use 16 ounces of mushrooms here, so 2 8-ounce packages of mushrooms. And then what I go ahead and do, normally you would wait and let all that melt, but I go ahead and dump the whole thing in there. Mushrooms are really porous, almost like a sponge. They really absorb a lot of stuff, a lot of liquids and things like that. So the pan will look really, really full. You wanna make sure you use a big pan, but as they cook, it's really gonna shrink down. But as far as seasonings go, I use kosher salt, I use coarse ground pepper, I use garlic powder, I use Italian seasoning, and I use cayenne pepper. And then of course we're gonna finish it with a little wine later on. And when we talk about wine, I firmly believe that only use wine that you would drink yourself. And I use a red wine, my wife loves Pinot Noir, so that's what I'm using. If you wanna use Cabernet, go ahead and use Cabernet. If you wanna use a Zinfandel, use a Zinfandel. But I just go with the one that we have, and of course this is one that I would drink. So we're gonna season the mushrooms, and then just give it a little bit of time. No hurry, you know, just let it start getting happy in there, and then we're gonna mix it all up, and then let it reduce. So there's always all kinds of pairings that you can do with steaks. You know, you got ribeyes, you got strips, you got fillets, all kinds of different things. I really love a fillet, but it depends on what you're doing. You know, if I do a strip or something like that, I feel like I need like a mushroom demi-glaze on it or some kind of cream sauce. Sometimes when I do a fillet, I'd like to do an Oscar and it has crab meat and béarnaise sauce on it. Other times I want it to be really, really simple, and that's what I'm doing here. You know, basically we're just trying to cook or grill the perfect fillet. And so I think, you know, a really, really lightning hot grill, nice simple veg like Brussels sprouts, and then some sauteed mushrooms to accompaniment, doesn't get any better than that. After they start getting going, I like to give them a little toss in the pan. And basically you're just flipping it over, but it's all in the wrist. Now, if you've never done that before, I don't suggest it. And I learned it at a restaurant. And what they did is they took a cup of dry rice and put it in a saute pan and told me to flip that. And then I threw it all over the place. But eventually I did learn how to flip things in a pan. And it's just easier way to flip things. And then when you do that, you can end up being an awesome omelet maker. So we're almost down, we're almost reduced. And then at the very end, we're gonna add the wine in. So a couple more minutes. See, like right about now, I bet you wish that your TV or your computer monitor was scratch and sniff because you cannot even believe what it smells like. But they're getting really, really happy, and we're gonna make them even more happy here in just a second. What we're gonna do is just let them go for a little while. It'll boil and then it'll reduce completely down. So we're just gonna lower that to about medium heat, and then just let that go for about 5-10 minutes.